Hey folks, today we're going to go back 45 years and review the Vette van, which was designed by Larry Wood. This car came out of my 77 to 82 collection. These are cars, Hot Wheels in particular, that I bought as a child from 1977 to 1982. And I finished the collection as an adult, buying all of the main lines that were made between those years. And this has always been a favorite of mine. It isn't actually a Corvette. It's based on an MPC model that they had made in that period called the Vette van. It was a 125 model scale plastic kit. But the car does have a lot of Corvette underpinnings. The front end is sloped like a C3 Vette. It's got flip-up headlights. In the back, you're going to notice there were French tail lights, and they did T-tops on this. So even though it's a van, it has a lot of cues that were taken from C3 Corvettes. And you'll see there's a lot of good detailing on this car. I like the rear window in particular. When you see it come around, you'll notice that there is a gas tank on the left and a battery on the right. And the interior is beige plastic, which is a great color combination when you're doing a black exterior. It really allows you to see the contrast, and it works well. There's Zoomy pipes on this car, which are part of the metal base, and there are also vents on the front end of the car, as well as the license plate on the back. That is all formed from the Zamac metal base. So I think that's a good use of the underside there. There's also glass behind the T-tops, which is nice. It gives you a better view of the motor, which is a big block according to Hot Wheels, and it's mid-engine mounted. And there's a fair amount of detail on it. It's kind of hard to see. You have to peek between the T-top and also look through the glass behind the T-top itself to see the motor, but you can see what appears to be some induction on the top. Kind of hard to tell exactly, like the valve cover area and all that, but it's clearly a motor, and Hot Wheels did a nice job putting it where it is and to where it can be seen. Now, this car is kind of unique. It is a high raker. And for Hot Wheels aficionados, you'll know what a high raker is if you collected in that period, namely the early 80s. High rakers were cars that had the rear axle assembly on a pivot point, and there's a plastic insert that the axle goes through, and you can actually pull down on the wheels, and there's three positions that it will click into, and it basically allows the rear end to sit up higher, hence the name high raker. In this car that you're looking at here, I've got it clicked all the way down. So this is the normal stance. If you click it all the way up, it gives the car rake front to back, hence the name high raker. And so I really like this car. There's a lot of favorites of mine from the 77 to 82 era, but the Vette van really is one that I like a lot. I liked it as a kid. The T-tops, again, is one of the reasons I liked it, because it gave you good visibility into the interior. So this casting came out in 1980, and it was a mainline. And the car, this one that's spinning on the carousel, is a 1980 first edition Hot Wheels. The base code is 1135, and they also did it in 1981. And in 1982, and that was part of the Heroes series. The Heroes were cars that they did that had comic book characters on the tampoing. So there was like Thor, there was Captain America, I believe they did an Aquaman, and in 1981 and 82, they did the Vette van in white, and they tagged Iron Man to the car. So those are pretty neat. I don't have one of those. So when I say I have every main line from 77 to 82, I have one of each casting. I don't have every variation. That would be a lot of money. These cars are not cheap now when you find them on eBay. And the one requisite that I had when I filled out or completed my 77 to 82 collection is I wanted cars that were in excellent or better condition. This one's in really good condition. There's a couple of little spots where the paint's thin or slightly worn, but for the most part, this car would be rated probably at excellent or maybe even a little better, being 45 years old. They did the car again in 1982. They did it in red. They did not use any Vette van logoing on the side. It was simply, they had some like wavy graphics. It was okay, but it didn't look as good as this one, in my opinion. They did it again in 1982 in black, and they did it exactly like this version here, which is, the original 1980 black Vette van, which I think is the classic version of this. And then they did it for the last time in 1983, and they did it as a speed machine. Again, it had a kind of a wavy graphic on the side, and that was it. That was the last time the Vette van was done, was 1983, and it's a shame. This is a really, really neat car. I don't understand why this one was not brought back as a neoclassic, or it was never a red line, so it never made it into the red line re-releases. But I'd like to see Hot Wheels do it again, and maybe they will. I don't know. I assume they still have the casting die for it. And all of these cars had the classic BW coated wheel, which just stands for Blackwall. And this is my all-time favorite wheel, probably because I grew up buying Hot Wheels that had these. So that's it. I did weigh the casting. It came in at 39 grams, which is pretty heavy. But again, with a metal base and a big metal body, it's not surprising it's close to 40 grams. So we'll do a roll test. I don't know how this one does on the track. I've never put it down the strip, but we're going to find out how it does here in a minute. Okay, I've owned this car for 45 years, and I have never put it on a track. So it's probably time we do so and see how it does here. All right, went to 3, and it does pull. It rolls to the left. So many of these cars, I don't know why they end up going to the left. Wow, okay, almost 4. That's pretty good. Maybe the first one just needed breaking in. Let's try it again, see if we get to 4. Okay, almost 4. We'll do it one more time. I think that first roll was kind of a fluke. Hopefully it'll get close to that again. All right, so this car rolls pretty well for being 45 years old. It made it to 4, which is way better than average. And I'd say it's a pretty solid track performer. So thanks for watching, and we will do this again real soon. And always be sure to like, share, and subscribe.